Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
And welcome everyone to this week's edition of Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino. Ronnie Rantz, Joel Davis with you. Happy New Year's to everyone out there. Hope you have a great 2020. 2019 in the world of sports in the state of Louisiana, I don't know that it can get any better than it's been, especially in the last 6 months between the Saints and LSU and really all the state schools. It's been a banner year for a lot of collegiate teams in the state of Louisiana. JD, let's talk first a little LSU. You know, in this past month, they've won an SEC championship. They won a Heisman. Mm-hmm. They won every award known to man, offensive line, assistant coach, head coach, receivers, you name it, they've won it. A DB, the best in the country. And, you know, a lot of people thought with everything that they went through, the Heisman, all the award shows, there was going to be some sort of hangover, the whole Heisman hangover. Because, quite honestly, Heisman Trophy winners have not played all that well. Their teams really haven't always won or done anything. It says it hasn't correlated with win the Heisman, win the Natty. This year, throw all that out the window because we just witnessed a Heisman Trophy winner have the best half maybe ever in the history of the sport. I mean, I know that's ridiculous to say, but as good as it could possibly be under the circumstances, semifinal, number 4 team in the country.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it all hinges on Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow's special. I mean, he's that entire game, you just kept going. I mean, that was your reaction. It was, he just did that. He just did that.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Oh, my God, did you see that? The one throw that he made during that game that I was like, that was special, was when he rolled out and threw the laser dart back shoulder to Jefferson for a touchdown. On a dime, dude. I mean, it wasn't like floated pass. It just proved his accuracy, his ability to throw on the run, his athleticism, his intelligence. It crossed all the T's.
Yeah, I thought
and dotted all the I's.
I thought the play when he rolled out to the sidelines and waited and told Terrace Marshall to go.
But that was Terrence Marshall too.
Yeah, but he knew he was going to get hit.
Sure.
He bought his time to the last second, and then the touch. I mean, it looked like it looked like me playing cornhole, just perfect, form and just right in the hole. I mean, it was the error. Margin of error was very small there because if you throw it too far, it's intercepted. You underthrow, it's intercepted. You know, I mean, you had to have the touch and the poise under pressure on the move when you're about to get smacked in the face. That, to me, was the most impressive play.
That took two to tango, right? They had to be on the same page for that to work out. And they were. That was a lot of practice, and that was a lot of working together, being together for 2 years, and just kind of knowing each other. But, I mean, it's just I'm just thinking NFL. Just what's going to get you to the next level, and how can you be successful at the next level? And that throw on the run to the right, and, I mean, he didn't float it out there and just try to beat the defender with air and let his receiver outrun it to the football. That's a tough throw, man. On the run, a hard throw, letting it loose, just giving it all you got. And look, he doesn't have the biggest arm that you're going to see. I mean, he doesn't. But he's a lot like Drew Brees today in a sense that he's so accurate with the football. He's and he makes mistakes, but he knows where to go with the football. It's almost like he knows what you're doing before the snap every single time. He can go through his progressions. He's not a one-read quarterback. You see a lot of guys that are just one-read quarterback. He's not that guy. Dude, the Cincinnati Bengals are about to get a stud. And if they pass on him...
They're not going to keep Andy Dalton. He played well the last 3 games.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, Andy Dalton has done a great thing for Cincinnati. He's been great for Cincinnati. But it is time to...
I don't know. Great, strong.
Look, before Andy Dalton, I think he took him to the playoffs 5 times. Before Andy Dalton, what'd they do? Nothing, literally, for like 20 years. You're going to Google it?
I'm pretty sure strong.
I'm pretty sure he had like 5 playoff appearances in his career, early in his career, and then the wheels kind of fell off later on in the second half of being in Cincinnati. But he was I think he took the Cincinnati to the Bengals to the playoffs I know he did his first couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he did 4 to 5 times. So who else has done that for the Bengals since Boomer Esiason? So you got to give
3 Pro Bowls, 2011,
I mean, come on.
2014, and 2016.
The dude was look, when he had A.J. Green rolling, those 2 guys were pretty good, okay? And he's had some good games down the stretch. He's a good quarterback. He's going to land somewhere, and somebody's going to get a good quarterback, right? Somebody's going to get a young quarterback.
I mean, you look at
Who has time?
Fitzpatrick, who's
37 years
playing
old.
his best football towards the end of his career. You look
Correct.
at a guy like Tannehill, who was given up on in Miami, and all of a sudden now he looks like the future for the Titans. So, yeah, I mean, you see some examples. Be curious to see what Eli Manning's going to do. Eli Manning may –
that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But Eli Manning's, obviously he knows his future's done in New York. He's trying to decide whether he's going to retire or not. Does he care about retiring that way? What will Phillip Rivers do in Los Angeles? He sounded like a guy who was retiring at his press conference.
Watch Eli go to the Chargers.
Yeah, right. After he didn't want to go there out of being drafted.
You know what that reminds me of? Because
now it's in Los Angeles, not San Diego.
I know. So maybe he'll go now. He's not in San Diego. Why wouldn't you want to live in San Diego? Maybe because they're a terrible organization. Because of the talent that they've had, and they still can't win. It was, and they've had talent after talent after talent, and they still can't win. But you think about when Peyton Manning was at the end of his career in Indianapolis. These same questions were coming up: should he retire? What's he going to do? He's coming. Is he done for? And he ends up going to a team that was all they needed was a quarterback.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Who is out there that all they need is a quarterback?
Who is out there that if they had a good quarterback, it would make a difference for their franchise and put them over the hump?
It was Jacksonville 2 years ago.
There's Bears fans that would say them, okay, Trubisky, but they're not going to give up on him this soon. That's
He's so young.
He's only 3 years in, right? And he showed some flashes towards the end of the season. So I don't know. You got a lot of money in that guy. Do you just admit you made a mistake? You moved up to draft him. I don't know.
I wouldn't take Eli Manning.
I think the
today
Carolina Panthers
over Mitch Trubisky of today.
Carolina Panthers are a franchise that to me is a very intriguing deal.
Still got Cam Newton.
Do you stick around with Cam Newton? Because come on, let's face it, he could have come back this year, right?
Yeah.
You kind of moved away from Cam Newton. Right. Whether Cam moved away or you moved away, it was mutual. To me, you said we're moving on in our franchise.
Could he
with
go to Washington?
Does Ron Rivera want to have Cam? We don't know if Ron Rivera just dealt with Cam Newton because he had to.
Won a lot of games with him.
I know, but there's a difference between dealing with them because you have to, your franchise has them, or do you really want Cam Newton?
If I didn't have a quarterback, yes, I want Cam Newton.
You would take Cam Newton right now over Eli Manning,
Phillip Rivers,
Andy Dalton?
Yeah, because I can't stand a redheaded quarterback. I wouldn't want a redheaded quarterback on my team.
You've got redheaded family.
Yeah, but not a quarterback. I'm just kidding. I'm kind of redheaded. I'm just kidding. It's like me. It's like rooting for me. I can't do it. No, I would take Cam Newton over Andy Dalton. That sounds crazy because Andy Dalton can play football. He just needs some weapons around him. He can play football, but Cam Newton, I mean, he takes a lot of what, but he's really good in the community. He's a good dude. But he kind of gets a bad rap because of the way he plays the game. He's a smack talker, right? So it kind of opens you up for criticism. I kind of like that about him. I really do. But, you see things that he does in the community that, as a Saints fan, you're like, man, why are you doing that? Why are you making me like you, right? So I can see him, if him and Ron Rivera have a good relationship, are you crazy? Of course he's going to. I would absolutely, if I'm Cam Newton, going to follow that dude to Washington. Haskins, is he the answer? I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter if he's the answer. They don't have to know right now. They took him in the first round. He's going to be the quarterback for 3 years.
How perfect would that
regardless,
be? Correct. You could bring in a Cam Newton right now. By the way, Andy Dalton would look terrible. He needs to get out of red and orange uniforms. All right? He needs to get in like a black and silver, black and gold. He needs to get out of – it doesn't go with his skin tone. It's kind of like me and you.
One thing we do know is that regardless of what we will think about it, Joe Burrow will be in that ugly Cincinnati Bengals helmet and uniform.
And he's fair-skinned too, man. It's not going to look great on him.
There's
but
no chance.
They got to get him.
They would riot. The state of Ohio would riot if they took Chase Young or something like that.
Well, they also got to sell tickets. They got to sell tickets.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
There's nothing to think of. And look, the Saints fans that want a pie in the sky, that, hey, why don't the Saints trade everything to get them?
Never going to happen.
They won't take everything. Keep in mind, the Cincinnati Bengals, you can offer them the entire franchise of somebody else.
Well, you're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. They've done some stuff.
But they're not gonna. There's nothing they will do to trade out of that first spot to not take Joe Burrow.
Hold on a second. If they like Andy Dalton, and they don't like Joe Burrow, I mean, they may not like Joe Burrow.
Did you hear what you just said?
Yes, I did.
If they like Andy Dalton over Joe Burrow, who on this planet?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Who other than
they are the team that would possibly be that dumb.
No way, no chance.
But wouldn't they be the one to make that stupid move?
No, that would be the Browns.
The Browns are dumb too, but they're not that dumb.
Browns, by the way, cut old Freddie Kitchen 1 year and done.
I mean, I'm not shocked by that. That team was a debacle. He was not the guy.
He was
to
there
run
to
that roost.
He was Baker's boy. They thought, all right, Baker had a good year, first year. They'll bring in his boy. And then, he thought he would be the hip young guy that can manage all the egos, and he couldn't handle them. They all ran the show, and he was just a little punk.
He's a dude they're going to see at the bar. Yeah. What they need is Bruce Arians or a Ron Rivera. They need a man.
Bring some discipline to
the franchise.
They need
a man. They need a dude, a former player that's been successful in the league, that's going to bring some discipline. Did you see Baker?
Would you go Jesus and bring Tony Dungy?
Jesus would be good.
He'd be a good one. I don't know if he doesn't want it, obviously, or he'd be coaching.
Herm Edwards at ASU would be a good guy for that job. It has to be someone with experience. Yeah. You can't bring in another guy.
What about Joe Brady?
Oh my God!
Hang on. It's not as crazy as it sounds.
Joe Brady as the head coach?
Hang on. Hear me out.
That's another Freddie Kitchens waiting to happen.
Hear me out. Joe Brady's boys. Oh, no, that would be the Bengals. We bring in Joe Brady to the Bengals.
That's not going to happen. Look, Joe Brady is
offense coordinator to the Bengals. If Joe Burrow is the first pick, trust me, Coach, that is going to be thrown around big time.
I mean, but it depends on who they hire. I mean, just because
it doesn't depend on who they hire. If you're the owner, you say, I'm taking Joe Burrow as the quarterback.
Well, you're already setting the table for failure.
And then go get everything else.
Well, when the owner does that, you're already setting the team up for failure. I'm holding out if I'm Joe Brady. I'm going to try to get traded. Joe Burrow. There's so many Joes. By the way, has anybody hit the lottery more than Joe Brady?
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
The year and a half that he's had, and he's represented by, what's that guy? Former defensive lineman.
Master P?
No, for the Falcons, white guy. He used to be a Beverly Hills Sports Group. Oh, man.
No clue.
Actually,
when you said Atlanta Falcons offensive lineman?
Defensive line.
D-line.
Anyway, that's his agent. Oh, Trace Armstrong. Trace Armstrong is his agent. Okay. He didn't even have an agent until recently.
He didn't need an agent.
Okay. He was $40,000. He was the guy that was getting coffee in New Orleans for the Saints. Mr. Irrelevant, right? Nobody knew who he was. I've loved early in the season when they interviewed Drew Brees and Sean Payton and asked them about Joe Brady. It was kind of like, who?
Yeah.
It's like who? Or then it was like, oh, yeah. Then they would make up some stuff, you knew, he was in the room and, he had some knowledge. He brought some things, whatever.
He brought some things.
He brought lunch. But so he went from $40,000 a year, being the guy in the room that nobody even knew was in the room. Who's that guy?
Yeah.
He looks like he could be a trainer, an equipment manager, whatever. Then 400. So he's hitting the lottery
right there.
Boom, 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 running around oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Boy, did we get him. Yeah. To now, the sky is the limit. His name is being thrown around, probably by his agent, that he's a possibility for
good job, Trace Armstrong.
NFL.com reporting he might be a candidate for some offensive coordinator jobs. Regardless of that, he's a hot commodity in the college ranks. He's going to get a major raise. The speculation has been between 1.6 and 1.8 million a year for 3 years at LSU. I mean,
can you imagine going from
that's
making
unbelievable 40, 400, 1.8
after taxes? He's going to go from making
30.
after taxes $3,000 a month.
Less than that, but Yeah.
Probably less than that. It's like
definitely
$2,500.
less than that.
That's what he was making in New Orleans after taxes. $2,500 a month. And grinding, mind you. A lot of work.
Loving it.
Young.
Yeah.
Can't do that at our age.
Yeah.
To making, I don't know, what's $400,000? That's probably $25,000. No, that's almost $30,000 a month before taxes, and then after taxes, you're making $20,000. You're making $25,000 after taxes. Now he's going to be making $50,000 to $60,000 a month. Bro, you
more
went
than that
after taxes.
He's going to be making $1.8 million.
All right, well, what is that? Let's do some.
$150,000 a
Go
year.
to one shot. Huh?
$150,000 a month is what he's going to make.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
After taxes?
Come on, you run a business and you got a whole village of people over.
After taxes, bro, Seppi.
CPA. It depends on
I'm a CPA.
deductions and stuff. It doesn't matter.
Is he going to get 1.6?
It's a lot of money.
He's going to get 1.6?
1.8 is what he's expecting.
Let's just go 1.6.
$150,000 a month, Joel.
Let's go, huh?
Does it really matter? Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Divided by 12, that's 133,000 times point.
Welcome to the business
55.
Hour brought to you by Woodhaven Furniture Company.
$73,000 a month.
Allegedly. We don't know. You don't know.
He's going to be paying.
I guarantee. I'm going to call my CPA after the game because that's ridiculous. You're coming up with these numbers like just off the top.
He's going to make $133 a month before taxes at 1.6.
I said
he's going to be in a newer tax bracket. He's not going to be. I pay a 30% taxes. Okay, he's going to be in the 40 to 45% tax bracket. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's $73,000 a month.
Okay,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So my point is, he went for 25.
You had to do that to say that was a lot of money.
He made $2,500 a month after taxes, to $30,000 a month, or to $25,000 a month after tax, to $73,000. Dude, you can't.
In less than 2 years.
How do you even manage that?
Right.
Mentally, like, let me ask you something. Would you take the job with the Saints, his old job with the Saints, making $40,000 a year right now?
No, sir.
Because you couldn't live on that. Yeah. But even though the opportunity to work with the Saints, and to become that close to the organization,
but when you're in your 20s and you're okay with ramen noodles and 3 roommates, that's perfect.
Yeah, you can do it.
That's exactly what you do.
That's right.
I mean, he's a single guy. I mean, that's exactly what you do. And
that's
right. The dream, right?
He did it.
The experience you garner from Sean Payton and the Saints will lead to bigger and better things.
It happened.
And it did. And it's a beautiful thing. That's exactly how it is. That's why when buddies of mine that are in baseball or football and they get out of college and they're trying to decide their next move in life and they think, well, I might go into coaching. They're not sure.
Money.
I say, well, here's the thing. If you're going to go into coaching as a young man right out of school or right out of pro ball, do it now. But, wait, first off, I ask him, are you married? Do you have kids? Then you can't go into coaching.
Right.
You have to go into coaching when you're broke and single.
Right.
Because you don't know, what's going to happen, right?
Right.
It may hit or it may not. I got a buddy who's probably the best pitching coach in the state of Louisiana. Guy does pharmaceutical sales because he was a college coach for a long while and did really good, but then he attached his horse to a saddle that ran off the cliff. So therefore, there's not a lot of jobs out there. So then, but yet there's guys that are coaching at big schools, whether it's LSU, Mississippi State, or whatever, that aren't any better than the pharmaceutical rep or the guy that's coaching at McNeese. They just happen to attach their saddle to the correct horse that won the race.
The lottery. The lottery. Yeah. He hit the lottery. And also, let's not forget, he is coaching a very special quarterback. I'm not sure you would know. Matter of fact, I'll take it back. You don't know who Joe Brady is without Joe Burrow. Without Joe Burrow playing the way he's playing, you don't know who Joe Brady is. And I'm not sure that Joe Brady made that big of a difference with Ensminger. Because Ensminger's proved that he can put points on the board in the past. He has. He's done it before. And Joe Burrow just it kind of just clicked for him.
I think it was a morphing of everything.
It was a morphing. It's the stars aligned for everybody. And it aligned for Coach O. He's up for a raise. He's going to be up for an extension. I mean,
you know who it didn't align for?
Who?
Steve Ensminger. Like we're talking about, O getting a raise and getting an extension and Joe Brady going to the NFL and da-da-da-da-da and Joe Burrow being the first pick. And what are we talking about? Let's not give is he going to go back be the tight ends coach? Is he going to be a co-coordinator? Is he going to retire?
Well, he's about to be your OC again.
That's what we're hearing. Where everybody else, it's all bouquets and but for Steve Ensminger, it's like disregarding him.
But you know what? he's always had that personality from being on the outside
Right,
looking
the all
in that he's
shucks,
okay with
right.
that. He's okay with that.
I know that he might be okay with that, and I disagree in the sense that I believe there's a fire in everybody.
Sure.
And he may just be the guy that doesn't say publicly, but come on, there's a part of him that's like, dude, really?
Bro, I'm the
come on,
dude.
bro.
I'm the dude.
Like,
I'm
I'm
the
not
dude.
saying he's the dude. I'm saying, like, where's my love in all this? You know what I mean? Like, but
Well-
the bottom line
Well,
is,
Joe Brady's going to get another job,
And then he'll be- and then
Ensminger's
he'll
going
be
to
the-
prove that
right.
maybe he was the dude.
Yeah, but
and Joe Brady, let me tell you
That's
something.
only if Miles Brennan gets on board with the program.
Oh, dude, and I'm not. Look, he showed a couple things
some good
towards the
things
end.
at
He
the
showed
end.
a couple things
Miles
there.
Brennan's got to get on board.
He's gotta get on board.
Or it could be like the people will be pining for Joe Brady if he does leave. and
I'm
go to
telling
the
you,
pros.
bro. If Joe Brady, I would be nervous if I was Joe Brady, unless he's super confident. Maybe you shouldn't jump ship just yet.
Unless he knows, ooh, next year going to be a little tough.
Let me get the money now.
Let me go, hey, Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
How about
who's the-
assistant coordinator at the
Who
if I
wants
was
him?
the Bengals, I would hire Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I mean Joe Brady in some capacity, whether it's coordinator, co-coordinator,
Because then you're gonna
passing
draft
game
Joe Brady.
coordinator, because then you're getting the tandem that's
Joe
Joe
Burrow. I can't say all these Joes.
It's too many Joes. All right, he's
Joe Davis.
Joe Davis. Joe Davis, Joe Rantz. We'll be back with Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino, the home of the best New Year's Eve party in all of Baton Rouge.
Hall of Fame induction weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
Can't get enough Sports Shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rantz, Joel Davis, not Joe Brady, here in the
Or Joe Davis.
studios presented by LeBears Casino. Last segment, if you're an LSU fan, we hope you don't commit Harry Carey. We were just talking hypotheticals that Joe Brady could possibly be leaving to go to the NFL. That's what NFL.com is saying, that he's being coveted as a coordinator. But it'll be interesting to see. Regardless, the guy will be a very rich man and technically single, I believe.
I mean, all he needs is a 3-year contract, and he's set for life. I mean, seriously.
3 years, 1.8.
3 years. That's
According
it.
to
I
you,
mean,
there's a lot of numbers there.
I mean, 3 years,
Oh,
1.8,
God,
collect
please
all
don't.
$6
Please
million.
don't. Please don't. start going down that road.
I'm just
again.
thinking.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
thinking. I mean, you can't like take care of your grandkids and grandkids,
So
but you can take care of your
Here's what we
business.
found out with.
Can we talk about the defense?
in a minute?
Okay.
Here's what we found out about the LSU Tigers this past week, and
They're
really
really
about
good.
about myself.
They're
I know
good.
nothing. Okay, I know
Why?
absolutely nothing.
Why? Gamble.
Did you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire was going to start?
I told
and
you he
play
would not
and
play.
do all that.
I told you he would not
You
play.
thought he wouldn't play? I didn't think he'd play. I thought if he did play, at best he just would go out there like Willis Reed, a couple plays. Or,
How many carries
or,
he had? 5 carries?
No, I think he had a
No.
couple. 1, 2? I don't
I'm-
know. Whatever.
I'm pretty sure he had.
All right, look it up. But we know this. Curry averaged
He had 2 carries.
2 carries, and he ran over a guy because he couldn't make a move to make a miss.
Correct.
He trucked him.
But let's. I'm gonna stop you right there. Chris Curry's a dude.
Had 5-yard average of 16 carries, 89
90 yards, 16 carries. That dude balled out. You kind of saw glimpses of that. You always wonder why wasn't he getting chances? Why was he not getting chances? You never know what's going on behind.
I mean, the Marshawn Lynch comparison with
It's-
the dreads
it's
coming out of the
nailed.
back is so.
Well, he runs like him.
So right, and it's the same number. Don't they have the
24?
same
Is
number?
Curry
Same
24?
number. Yeah.
Dude, it's not just the hair. It's not the stop. It's the way he runs.
Yeah, the back and forth
it's
wiggle.
insanity how he's nailing it. And he ran like Marshawn Lynch.
The old Marshawn, the young Marshawn.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
The future is bright at LSU at running back.
Well, yeah,
Straight up.
It's always
those
going
three
to be
guys.
bright.
But well, I mean, if you'd have told me 2 weeks ago, if LSU signs a couple of more running backs, Chris Curry might have wanted to transfer.
Well, sure. No, I mean, I'm saying
I don't think
but
that's going to happen now.
LSU's always going to have talent at running back. Always. But as far as Chris Curry is concerned, before the SEC championship game, yes, the conversation would have probably been had, depending on the signing class, for Chris Curry's future. Because we know about Emory and Price. Curry hadn't been getting a lot of love. But give LSU credit and give coaches credit. And this is something that all players and young people can learn from. Here's a guy that didn't play much last year or this year. I mean, redshirted technically last year, even though he played in some games. Then this year he wasn't thought of. Everybody's talking about Price and talking about Emory. All of a sudden, this shows that in practice he was doing good things, shows in practice he was learning the system, and they had trust in him, and they gave him a chance. Coaches didn't make – I hate when coaches make up their mind and pigeonhole a guy. Right. In January, if it's baseball, for example, all right, January, he can play or he cannot play. Wait a minute, we haven't even started the season. Yeah. And then, and then it's a long season. Things kind of football, same thing. August, okay, here's going to be our starting lineup. Wait a minute. 5 months later, who knows what's going to happen? And so this proves that LSU is doing their due diligence and they're giving you the chance to get better.
Giving you an opportunity to play if you're good enough. And if you're talented enough, ball security. Maybe ball security had something to do with that this week. We don't know what was happening in the 3 weeks.
It's obviously been a month thing because he was the first player in
started
for the Georgia game. I'm talking about the 4-minute offense towards the end of the Georgia game, when they're just kind of eating the clock up. You're thinking to see other people, and they gave it to him and let him roll. Yeah. So obviously, it was before the SEC championship game that he earned his playing time and his trust.
I'm excited about him in the future. I really am. I think that they're going to need a guy now that Joe Burrow is kind of moving on. Obviously, he's going to be gone in first overall pick.
Are you okay with that?
Joe Burrow moving on.
It's going to hurt a little bit?
It's a little sad.
Right.
I mean, because we've never had a quarterback of this caliber, a Heisman Trophy, that every time he takes us. It reminds me so much of Drew Brees. And when I say that, I kind of compare it like this. Every time Drew Brees drops back to throw the ball, you anticipate a completion. When it's incomplete, it's almost like, what happened there? Whereas when the Billy Joe Hobarts were there, when they dropped back, your first thought was, this is incomplete. Start thinking about the next play, right? Well, Joe Burrow, I have that same feeling. When he drops back, you anticipate a completion. 75%, 76% completion.
77 point something.
It's insane. So I wonder why I think that way. So, once Drew Brees is gone and Joe Burrow's gone, it's gonna be the Billy Joe Hobarts again.
It's gonna be such a huge
like Teddy
black
Bridgewater.
hole.
When he drops back to throw, if it's complete, you're like, oh,
right,
that's awesome.
The glove, the magic glove.
We're very spoiled to the quarterback position right now.
We are. And I mean, that's the thing. We are going to have the biggest hangover after this season for
Years.
LSU. Now, the Saints will, but for sure LSU.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about a guy. This is the greatest individual season
Ever.
in the history of LSU, hands down. And maybe if he caps off with a national championship, ever in the history, 150-year history of the sport in college.
Ronnie.
If he wins the Natty in New Orleans, it will be the greatest individual season ever, and arguably the best team ever.
Yes.
Wow.
You have an opportunity to take out a team that's won 29 straight games.
Yeah.
A team that's the defending national champion. A team that's very well coached, talent everywhere. Clemson has talent literally sprinkled everywhere, just like LSU. They have an opportunity to kind of get through the season a little bit easier than LSU, but they have the same talent. And they tend to play up to their level of competition. They're going to be ready. This is going to be a good game. I mean, you saw what they did with Ohio State, although they could have been blown out early. They stuck around. They grinded it out, and then Trevor Lawrence puts the team on his back. Travis Etienne puts the team on his back. Those two guys are two guys that can beat you. They can. They're talent. They're very talented. They're first-round draft picks as well. And LSU has to be careful of that. But LSU's defense has found their way at the right time of the year, just like the New Orleans Saints have found their way offensively at the right time of the year. And that could play dividends for both of those teams.
The LSU defense, after the second half of the Ole Miss game, let's face it, they went from first to second in the country based on the second half of the Ole Miss game.
Yep.
And ever since then, they have taken that personally. And I know that. I've talked to some guys on TV with CST for the LSU Tonight show after the games. And that first week after when they got dropped from first to second and basically got called out by the playoff committee, a couple of those guys said publicly that it made a difference. And they have done everything in their power to change the narrative. Now, at the end of the day, you say, well, they still gave up 28 points. Yeah, but when you score 60-something, and, oh, by the way, this is the number 1A, 1B,
right.
I mean, team in the country when it comes to offensive production. Right. So, yeah, they're going to get theirs. They're going to get theirs.
They're very talented offensively.
But, at the end of the day, if the game had been 42 points, they wouldn't have had 28.
It was 35-7, bro. There was people on Twitter going, this game was closer than it appeared. I'm like, what game did you – they were humiliated.
49-14 at half.
Dude.
They threw 7 touchdowns.
Dude, Oklahoma –
in the first half.
Sorry for Jalen Hurts.
Jefferson had 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Embarrassing. It was humiliating. It was humiliating for them.
The comments coming out of Oklahoma's locker room and the coach and after – they really instead of just being like, we ran into the best college football team we've ever seen in the modern era, and, we're pretty good. And, tip our hats to them, man. It was a tough one. We whatever we tried to do, they had an answer for. That should be the answer.
That's all
Oklahoma. Instead, it was like, we traded blows with them early, and then, then we made some mistakes and some things, we had some alignment issues. What? You got an alignment issue at every play? I mean, at one point in the third quarter, the LSU had more points than snaps.
It's unbelievable.
They had more points than plays, and like mid end of the third quarter. As it turned out, they scored 60-something points and had like 70-something plays. So I mean, like that's incredible production.
And they kind of took the third quarter off.
Third.
There's some time
the
there.
Second half, they were pretty much running out the game. Yeah, no question.
Just get out of here. Get out of here healthy.
What did you think? Well, first the tone was set. Caleb Von Chasson, who
balled out.
We've been waiting for that kind of game.
Yeah, you got it.
And in the biggest game, he brought it. I don't know if it's a combination of health, fitness, preparation, whatever.
Dude about to get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, look, these are the games where you can make your money. In these championship games, you can, as a player, make some dough.
Because you're going against the best.
The best.
So they can see you
on
against
tape.
Pseudo NFL talent.
And if you get that guy, I mean, you got to imagine their fire is up a tick or 7. So, you're getting the best. You're getting the best effort. You should be getting the best effort. Grant Delpit, you're going to be getting your best effort. Fulton, Stingley, all these guys, Patrick Queen, doesn't matter who they are, that defensive line, you're going to get their best effort. Now, does that mean they're going to be where they need to be at that moment? Are they going to be in the right places? they were in the right places versus Oklahoma. And there was some times where you could see Chason in coverage, and there was nowhere to throw the ball. And, I mean, there was a lot of moving parts based on motion and this and that with Oklahoma. And if you watch that game, there was nowhere to go. Jalen Hurts was dead in the water. He had nowhere to go with the ball, Ronnie. There was a few times there was, and then CeeDee Lamb dropping that long pass was very uncommon to him. He dropped a couple passes, very uncommon. That's not going to help them win. But at the end of the day, the defense played so well, dude, against a very talented team.
If you go to the YouTube page, Cox Sports Television, on YouTube, or follow them on Facebook, there's a good interview with Christian Fulton on the field after the game. Going back to New Orleans, right, where his hometown for the national championship. That's a guy who quietly will move into that discussion a late first round. We'll see how it plays out.
He's a first-round pick. He's a first-round pick.
He's a first-round talent. Doesn't mean he necessarily will be a first-round pick.
Well, there's a lot of quarterbacks. Well, there's a lot of quarterbacks that could go in the first round, which could bump really good
and
players.
Receivers.
Here's the deal, dude. Saints are going to get a good pick because there's so many quarterbacks that are going to be drafted this year that guys are going to, teams are going to be jostling to get those guys. That means talented players like their lineman they got, McCoy. They got that guy second round, and so they're going to get an opportunity to get a guy late in the first round that shouldn't be there.
So you think they'll go quarterback if there is one?
I don't know, because I don't know how they feel about Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know how they feel about Taysom Hill in those roles. I mean, if they're like set on Teddy Bridgewater, then why would they?
Yeah.
If they feel like they can win next year with him, then they can get someone of need. They need a receiver, Ronnie.
Let's take a break. When we come back,
CeeDee Lamb is there. Here. If CeeDee Lamb is there, do you draft him?
There's a lot of issues.
We'll
talk about that. They worked out Antonio Brown. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Christian. Do you go cornerback? Do you go wide receiver?
No,
do you go
wide
quarterback?
receiver.
What do the Saints do? But first, they got a season to play. And oh, by the way, they're playing the lame duck Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, really? That's where you're going to go with?
That's what
you just jinxed them.
I think this team is jinx-proof. The Minnesota Vikings are not good, and they're not playing good down the stretch. Saints at home, take the Saints in a big, big way.
Then
Sports Shorts presented by LePage. We'll take a break, and then a little bit later on in the show, we're going to talk about one of our own, the late, great Carley McCord. Don't go anywhere.
Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Michael DeVent.
Trace Armstrong represents my betcha. Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rantz, Joel Davis. Don't call him Joe Brady here in the LeBears studios. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Hope you have and had a great New Year's Eve and enjoy all the festivities, all the games and things like that. Bowl season in full effect right now. We were talking a little Saints last segment. So a couple things. One, I'm a bit impressed. I mean, the Taysom Hill story just continues to get better and better and better, right? I mean, he is a vital part of this offense, and he can do so many things, where it's throw, run, catch the ball, special teams, you name it. And as long as Sean Payton is the coach in New Orleans, he'll have a job. Okay?
Yes.
I mean, as long as he's there, he'll have a role. And why not? Because you're saving 2 or 3 positions for one player. So the value is tremendous, and, of course, I'm sure his agent will make that point well known when the time comes. But the thing that I've been impressed with is on the very few occasions that we get a chance to see him throw the football.
Darts.
They're darts right on the money, Coach.
Darts.
I mean, and that's hard to do for a guy that's cold, that's over there not throwing the ball, and, all of a sudden, here's a play. You got one play to make it happen and no warm-ups or anything, and bam. And
I would love to see him
a whole
play
game.
a whole game, man.
Yeah.
I wish it was, I mean, I don't know what you're going to get in a whole game. Is he Lamar Jackson? I don't think so.
No, I think he is. I think there's definitely a running element to it.
Well, I don't know if he's as shifty.
Right, he's more physical, which means he's more Cam Newton.
Right. But I think he's more accurate. He might be more accurate of a
but
thrower.
We don't know, right?
I don't know. But the darts he's thrown have been darts.
I mean, I think the Cam Newton comparison is very, very accurate, although not as big as Cam and faster. But they're both physical runners, right?
Physical.
He's not going to be the shifty guy, make you miss. And that's the part that makes you nervous, because he's going to get hurt. At some point, he's going to take a shot. You're going to have a good backup, because he's going to miss some time. He's going to get banged up. He's going to sit out a game. Things are going to happen. But as far as Cam Newton throwing the football, he's every bit as good as Cam Newton throwing the football.
I mean, we don't know during an entire 60-minute game plan.
But I don't think Cam Newton's great at throwing the football. I think it's a pack. I think if you just told me, hey, you're going to have Cam Newton in the pocket, he can't scramble or move, and all he's going to do is throw the football, I'd be like, I don't know that I want him. I'll take Andy Dalton.
Cam Newton has changed his game quite a bit over the last few years, where he's more in the pocket and throws a lot. And I've seen him make great throws. I mean, he almost beat the Saints in a playoff game a couple of years ago. Almost brought him back at the end. Luckily, the Saints stepped up at the end defensively to shut him down. But Cam on the road. Look, I've seen enough of Cam Newton. But to know if Taysom Hill is Cam Newton. What I haven't seen is Taysom Hill being game planned against as a quarterback. We don't know how does he read coverages. We don't know if he can even read a coverage. It's easy to take a snap and have a one read, and if it's there, because they're not anticipating him throw the football. But if a defensive coordinator, really good, a Zimmer from Minnesota, he might not even complete a pass for all we know. We don't know how he reads coverages. Drew Brees obviously can manipulate a defense. I've never seen Taysom Hill do that. Can he complete a pass? Absolutely. But that's the thing that we don't know. Can he do it? Oh, yeah, physically he can do it. But we don't know if he can do it mentally.
The Teddy Bridgewater, where are you on him? And do you think
him.
Do you think that Drew Brees comes back another year?
Yeah, yes.
You do?
Well, if he wins the Super Bowl, yeah, he's coming back, dude. Regardless, dude.
Is there, what leads you to believe that?
He's 76% completion percentage.
I'm not saying
he's had 5 straight games with 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns or more.
It's not like
Why wouldn't he?
Because at some point, it's just at some point the fire may not be there. At some point, the hurt getting up may not be there. At some point, you may go.
Did you just say the fire is not there in Drew Brees?
I'm saying at some point it may not, because every player, when they get to in the end of their career,
when they're losing,
they talk about when the off season hits. And they have to look themselves in the mirror and go, do I want to go through the grind again?
Let me tell you something right now. That dude is playing as long as Tom Brady's playing, because he ain't letting Tom Brady take these records. He's not going to quit and let
Mahomes going to take them all anyway.
Bruh, Mahomes not going to take them all.
Mahomes here's why. Because the rules are not going to get stricter. They're going to get looser. And it's going to get easier and easier to throw for 5,000 yards.
You just talked about the move around thing. The move around thing. He's not going to last 16 games
Yeah, but that
in
guy's
this league.
good enough. He can figure out how to play.
He
within the
physically,
pocket.
though, dude, I'm not sure where he's at. He looks kind of jelly sometimes, dude. He looks kind of Drew Brees don't look jelly. He's 40. He's a man. Mahomes 23.
Did you see Drew Brees at 23? He looked like you. Okay, so don't tell me about how he looked. The guy's doing. I mean, you got to project into the future.
Drew Brees never looked like jelly. Drew Brees could dunk a basketball. Drew Brees.
You don't think Mahomes could dunk a basketball?
I'm not sure.
Oh, golly, you are such a punch drinker. I swear, it's unbelievable.
But Drew's 5'10".
Oh my God.
Drew's 5'10" or 5'11".
Oh my God.
Mahomes is he's not going to break the records because
What
he's
would
not
Mahomes
going to.
say about me? What would Mahomes say if I said to him, Mahomes, you're never going to make it to 40 years old as a quarterback in the NFL?
Let me just tell you, it's going to happen. I'm going to break these records. My knees are going to hold up. I got a cannon for an arm. I've got great receivers, great coach, great everything. And I'm going to be honest with you. Those records are mine.
That was kind of like Kermit meets Trump rolled into
Really?
one. It was kind of you had a little Trump with the hands and it was a little Trump Mahomes. That was not bad though. That's a little New Year's Eve present for everybody.
There you go.
So what about Teddy?
He's been working on his voice though.
You think he's gotten better?
Yeah, he's been working on it. I
You
can
can
tell he's
tell.
been going to speech classes because you can lose a little respect in the huddle.
Well,
when,
You're
No, you
going
could
Z34, 34Z. We want to make sure you round out the outfit. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
that was the Trump.
No, but
That was the Trump.
But the problem, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going
It's
to be
gonna be
huge.
great.
It's going to be huge. No, but the thing is that with Mahomes is it's not about the huddle. It's about endorsements. If you want to
Yeah,
be on
yeah.
TV, you want to do State Farm, and you want to do it, you got to speak more clearly.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you got to speak not like a frog
Right.
on State Farm commercials.
Okay. Can you ask Mahomes asking the producer if he can voice track his own
No.
voice? Can you do that one?
I don't know if I can do that.
Are we going to do a dub over? I think we should do a dub over.
Teddy Bridgewater,
Yeah.
where are you
I
at with
like
him?
him.
Because I'm talking about Taysom Hill would want to see the experiment, but do you think the Saints, if you're correct and Drew Brees comes back,
He's coming
Right.
back.
you believe he's coming back? You heard it here first. Joel Davis with
Tom Brady's playing. Drew Brees is playing. He's
If-
not going to
if
have all
Drew
the Super
Brees
Bowls and all the
comes
records
back,
too.
Do the Saints double down and just bite the bullet again
No.
on Teddy Bridgewater?
No. Then they draft the quarterback. Then you're looking at drafting a quarterback, and you let Teddy go play somewhere. And he's been part of the Super Bowl, dude. If they go to the Super Bowl this year and win it,
He deserves
Teddy-
that ring.
Absolutely, he deserves that. He won 5 games.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't carry the team, but he helped galvanize that
Right.
team. He won 5 games. Without those 5 games, you wouldn't be in the playoffs, right? So to me, Teddy Bridgewater
But it's more than that.
earned his
It's
$7 million.
It's more than just the number because, quite honestly, if they're going 3-2 like we were hoping they would do, they would still be divisional champs. They'd still be the 3rd seed. They'd still be hosts. They'd be in the same exact spot. But what it does, so it's not just a numbers play on the Teddy Bridgewater 5. It's the fact that the team believed, oh, okay, wait a minute, we're okay, we're fine.
Well, that's when we found our defense.
We have a chance. Yeah, our defense stepped up. We have a chance to still be a good team and
Right.
win. You know, the sky had fallen and everybody thought, oh, here we go, season's over.
Right.
And
You don't
Teddy
know.
went, no, we're fine. And so all of a sudden, you know, and then so when Drew comes back, now you take it to another level.
Take it to another level.
And
He set the table for the team. He helped set the table for the team. But I believe that if Drew says, look, man, I'm probably going to play 2 more years. You can't.
I don't think he tells them a number. I think it's just a one at a time thing. I don't think he
Maybe
can tell
so,
them to.
but I think Teddy's going to want to go start somewhere.
yeah.
But the opportunity's got to be there. The money's got to be right. And then that will dictate what the Saints do in the draft because the draft will be after free agency starts. So they're going to know. They're going to know. So, I mean, he's going to want big money.
But
dude.
here's the thing: Teddy seems like he's a good fit in New Orleans. He seems
It's a
like
great
he
fit.
loves
He loves New Orleans.
loves the city and the team. If Drew gives him an inclination that he is going to be he's going to play one more year, but Teddy loves it enough to where he give the Saints a discount and say, look, I'll give it a 2-year, $20 million to stay here as the backup, and if Drew leaves in year 2, I'm the starter. Put some incentives in there so I can make my money. Would you do
Or
it? Would you
if-
play $10 million, another 10 for another backup?
I mean,
Teddy?
the salary cap always goes up, man. You got to spend the
Yeah.
money. You got to spend the money anyway.
But I believe more now in Taysom Hill, and I would roll the dice and say, you know what? Yeah, go get your young quarterback. Let Taysom play all these positions. But at the end of the day,
No, he
if Drew,
can't play. If he's your backup, you can't do that.
But if Drew really goes out again and he's going to miss 5 games, I'm not going with the rookie. I'm going with Taysom and then letting the rookie be the backup. You know what I mean? That's what I would do if I'm the New Orleans
Weren't you the GM for the
Lafayette Roughnecks?
how'd y'all do over there?
We had the #1 cheerleading team in the league in 2001 in the AF2 Arena
How many
Football
years
2.
did you make it as GM?
It was one.
One. So you this is why you're wrong again. You hired the wrong people.
How many years were you the GM of anything?
Let me tell you something, dude. I think I would have lasted longer than you, and because I understand with your job came sales too. So
Right.
I don't know if I just wanted to be like the football guy. No, but I think that
Breaking down the
Breaking it
20-man
down.
roster.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think it was.
That kicker you signed was terrible though. But
Yeah, it was awful.
he
Pulled
was
his
awful.
hamstring and warm
It was unbelievable. I'll say this: they're not going to pay this dude $12 million a year. If somebody offers him $15 million, that's double what he's making now, plus a little change.
Well, you really are not good at math, are you? Because he's making 9.
He's making 7.
He's making 9.
7. He's making 7, Ron. The dude is making 7. You're going to Google it?
I'm on the Google machine.
Okay, so he's making 7 and some change, and he's going to have an opportunity to somebody may pay him 15 because he hasn't proved that he's a $20 million a year.
Signed a 1-year, $7.25
Thank
million
you.
contract.
Thank
All
you.
right, all right.
Thank you
That is
very much.
double. That is a little more than double of what he's making.
I would want you to apologize.
Okay,
now.
so I am sorry.
Okay.
So if he signed a 2-year, $20 million, you wouldn't take that?
Huh?
Teddy Bridgewater, 2-year, $20 million to stay in New Orleans?
No, dude.
He's your safety valve.
I'm 25 years old. I'm gonna take. He's
Teddy
competitive.
Bridgewater's 25.
He's 20. Here we go.
He's only 25.
He's 25
Is
years
he
old.
really?
It's unbelievable.
Realize he's that
Are you
young.
in sports? Don't you
I know, I
interview
just didn't
these
realize he was
people?
20. He seems like
You
he's been
interview
around
these
a lot
people.
longer. Hang on.
CST. If you need a true sideline reporter
Here
that
we go.
knows the team in which you're interviewing, holla at your boy.
I need to know how old he is.
He's 25.
27.
Is he 27?
27. Yes.
He's growing
Right,
up.
say you're sorry.
Did he just turn? I'm
Say you're
sorry. I
There you go.
apologize.
We'll take a break. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears. We'll be back right after this.
Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome back to Sports Shorts, everybody. Ronnie Rantz, Joel Davis with you. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino. We just have a few minutes left in the show, and so I wanted to talk about a dear friend of ours, not only of this program, but of course we tape Sports Shorts in the building here at Guaranty Broadcasting, the home of ESPN and radio in Baton Rouge and 98.1 and other stations. And, of course, everybody's kind of had a heavy heart the last a few days since the news of the passing of Carley McCord and a tragic plane crash that happened this past Saturday. I know, Joel, you knew Carley a little bit, and in our early days of Sports Shorts radio together, and she was kind of just moved back from Cleveland. She ran the board for us a good bit, and I knew you had some thoughts on that.
I just, we had this big piece of glass between the producer and us in the old studio, and when we would do the show, as a host, you're always looking at the producer to kind of, are we funny, or you always kind of see if they're making eye contact with you.
If the show's any good, do they care?
It's just kind of what you do, and Carley was always, she was a mover and a shaker, man.
Right.
You could see that she always had something on her plate, and that she was always trying to better her life, obviously. And she would produce our shows, and I don't know if she liked our show a whole lot.
She was always looking at her phone.
Always looking at her phone, and I always thought that was so funny. But when you came into the studio, and when you were leaving the studio or during breaks,
right,
very engaging, so sweet, so nice, just a lovely person.
And I remember you said you remember meeting Steve.
I remember
and
her introducing us to her husband, and he came in the studio talking to us for a little bit, and she's just super nice, man. She's just such a nice person. And that's, it says a lot about her character, and she will be missed.
Yeah, you see her right there with Steven at one of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events at La Bears recently. The thing that I'll say about her personally, good friend. She was a colleague, but she was more as a good friend of mine. And we talked a lot. Matter of fact, I texted her. I looked back at my phone. When was the last? I texted her 10 days ago. She was on vacation. She had posted something. We had a little inside joke, and and she said, "Hey," I said, "have a great time on your trip." And she said, "I'll call you when I get back." And Stephen was a great guy. The thing that when I heard about the tragedy, the plane crash, one, I knew some other people that were involved in the plane crash as well. I immediately went to thinking about their families. How devastating is that? You're life-changing. I talked to Wally Pontiff Sr. the other day. He called me to check on me, and he had met Carley through the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and that's a guy who knows, right? Wally Pontiff Jr. passed away at 21 years old. Your life changes like that. And so what the McCord family and the Ensminger family are going through, I can't even believe. But for me personally, I'm going to miss her. She was a really good friend, but also did a lot of great things for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, volunteered her time. She loved Natchitoches. She loved Northwestern State. And because of that and our friendship, she loved the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And every event that we had, she was a part of. She did a lot of our social media videos. And, man, my heart goes out to Steve. And she will be irreplaceable, and we will miss her. So on behalf of everybody with Sports Shorts TV and radio, prayers to the McCord family and the Ensmingers. He's Joel Davis. I'm Ronnie Rantz. Have a happy and 2020. Enjoy your new year and have a safe one.
Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase. Sports fans, you don't want to miss the biggest celebration of the summer. It's the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Natchitoches, June 25th through 27th. The 2020 Hall of Fame class features legendary sports figures Joe Horn, Nick Saban, Phil Robertson, and many more. Log on to lasportshall.com for more ticket information.